Joaquin Phoenix is one of the most intense and transformative actors in Hollywood, and his real-life journey is a powerful story of pain, resilience, and ultimate success. Born as Joaquin Rafael Bottom on October 28, 1974, in Puerto Rico, he grew up in a deeply unconventional environment, as his family was part of the controversial Children of God movement, which exposed him to instability and hardship at a very young age. But eventually his parents left the group and moved the family to the United States in search of a better life, changing their last name to Phoenix as a symbol of a new beginning, rising from the ashes of their past. And from an early age, Joaquin and his siblings, including his talented older brother River Phoenix, entered the world of entertainment through commercials and television shows, where Joaquin even performed under the name Leaf Phoenix, showing early signs of the raw and natural acting ability that would later define his career. However, despite these early opportunities, his life took a devastating turn in 1993 when his brother, River, tragically passed away outside a nightclub, an event that Joaquin himself witnessed, and that left a permanent emotional scar on him, pushing him away from the spotlight and into a period of deep reflection and withdrawal. But after some years away, he returned to acting with a renewed sense of purpose and intensity, determined not just to perform but to fully embody every character he played. And this commitment became evident in films like Gladiator, where he portrayed the complex and ruthless Commodus, earning critical acclaim and proving his ability to captivate audiences with layered performances, followed by his stunning transformation in Walk the Line, where he played legendary musician Johnny Cash with such depth that he even performed his own singing, earning an Academy Award nomination and solidifying his reputation as one of the most dedicated actors of his generation. Then in films like Her, he showed a softer, more vulnerable side, portraying loneliness and emotional connection in a way that resonated deeply with audiences. But perhaps the defining moment of his career came with Joker, a role that required him to undergo a dramatic physical and psychological transformation, losing significant weight and immersing himself completely into the troubled mind of Arthur Fleck, delivering a haunting and unforgettable performance that not only earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor but also left a lasting cultural impact, making Joker one of the most talked-about performances in modern cinema. And beyond his work on screen, Joaquin Phoenix is known for being intensely private and deeply committed to causes he believes in, particularly animal rights, as he has been a longtime vegan and activist who uses his platform to advocate for ethical treatment of animals and environmental awareness, often choosing roles and projects that align with his values, rather than simply pursuing commercial success, which further highlights his authenticity as both an artist and a human being. And despite achieving global fame and recognition, he continues to avoid the typical Hollywood lifestyle, preferring a quieter and more meaningful existence, which makes his story not just one of professional success but of personal integrity and emotional depth, proving that true greatness comes not only from talent but from the courage to face one's pain, remain true to oneself, and transform life's darkest moments into a source of strength and artistic brilliance. Joaquin Phoenix experienced one of the most heartbreaking moments of his life when his older brother, River Phoenix, suddenly passed away. And this was not just a personal loss but a deeply traumatic event that changed him forever. Because River was not only his brother but also his biggest inspiration and closest companion. On that tragic night, Joaquin was there with him when River's condition suddenly became critical. And despite trying to get help, he could not save him, which left Joaquin completely shattered, and the emotional emergency call he made that night was later heard by the public, exposing his pain to the world, making the situation even more overwhelming for him. After this incident, Joaquin stepped away from acting and withdrew from the spotlight, struggling to cope with grief and loss. But over time, he slowly found the strength to move forward, using his pain as a source of depth in his performances. And even today, he continues to honor his brother's memory, often crediting him as a major influence in his life and career, showing how a tragic loss became a turning point that shaped him into the powerful and emotionally driven actor the world knows today. Joaquin Phoenix delivered one of the most powerful performances in modern cinema, with his role in Joker, where he transformed himself completely into the character of Arthur Fleck, a deeply troubled and isolated man struggling with mental illness, rejection, and a society that constantly ignores and humiliates him. And what makes this performance truly extraordinary is the level of dedication Joaquin brought to the role, as he lost a significant amount of weight to physically reflect Arthur's fragile state, studied different psychological conditions, and developed a unique laugh that became the most haunting element of the character, symbolizing pain hidden behind forced happiness. While throughout the film we see Arthur slowly descend into madness as repeated failures, social neglect, and emotional trauma push him over the edge, eventually leading him to embrace his alter ego, the Joker, not just as a villain, but as a symbol of chaos and rebellion against a broken system. And Joaquin's acting captures every subtle emotion, from silent suffering to explosive rage, in such a realistic and uncomfortable way that the audience feels deeply connected to his pain, making the character both disturbing and strangely sympathetic. And this performance was not just acting, but a complete psychological transformation that blurred the line between fiction and reality, ultimately earning him the Academy Award for Best Actor and cementing his place among the greatest actors of all time, as his portrayal of the Joker redefined the character in a darker, more human, and deeply emotional way that left a lasting impact on audiences worldwide. Real life isn't like movies. There are no perfect scripts or easy victories. Just like Joaquin Phoenix, people go through pain, loss, and struggles that no one sees. But the real strength is not in avoiding problems. It's in facing them, learning from them, and still moving forward, because in the end, life is less about being perfect and more about staying strong when things go wrong. The morals of this life of Joaquin Phoenix, the real world. Life doesn't ask how strong you are. It tests how long you can keep standing after everything falls apart. You don't win by never breaking. You win by refusing to stay broken. Life doesn't follow a perfect path, and it never guarantees comfort or fairness. It brings moments of loss, silence, struggle, and unexpected change that can break a person from within. But the true end of any journey is not defined by how many times you fall. It is defined by how many times you rise, again with a stronger mindset, a clearer purpose, and a deeper understanding of yourself. Just like Joaquin Phoenix faced pain, personal tragedy, and emotional battles, yet continued moving forward and turned his struggles into strength. Every person has the ability to transform their darkest moments into growth, because in the end, life is not about avoiding hardship. It is about accepting it, learning from it, and still choosing to move ahead with courage, resilience, and hope.